Hey, what's going on, guys? Zofio here, back with Tier List Tuesday. Today we're doing the Rainbow Six Operators tier list. This will be both attackers and defenders all in one video, so it may be a little bit longer than the average tier list. I play in gold and very low plat. Let's just get started. Ace. He's recently experienced a nerf, reducing the size of his breach holes, but he does have some of the best weapons in the game. His breach utility is insanely useful. I'd be willing to put Ace in the S tier slot. The MX4 Storm is kind of fun to use. Her utility can be useful if you're the last one alive and you can focus your attention. She can easily be countered though with like a Thatcher EMP, a Twitch, a Glass, even though you never see Glass played. But she does have impacts. I'm still going to put her D tier because her utility really isn't there. So Maru, her utility is very rarely useful. You know, you can use her if there's a second floor window straight into objective. You can rush right in, big surprise. But otherwise, her utility really isn't there, and it's not supporting the team. But she does have some of the best weapons in the game. Her LMG is very nice, and her SMG-11 is very nice. But her other options are quite poor. I mean, you have the Supernova, and you have the ITA-12S, I believe. So we're going to put Amaru C tier. So Rooney's a very recent addition to Rainbow Six. I got her in my Christmas pack, which I'm very excited to play her more often. I mean, she's really useful because it can restrict enemy movement, force them to use utility to disable your gadget, and it does a lot of damage. I think it has to get a nerf. Either it can be destroyed, or she gets 2 and it can get I don't know how many she has right now, but either have it get destroyed and give her some more, or have her reduce the damage of it. But right now, I think Rooney and she has the Mark 14 EBR, I believe, and the Roni. So I'm gonna put her in A tier. I'm not putting her S tier because she's new. You gotta see what's going on. Alright, Ash. I'm not a fan of Ash. I'm not much of a rush player. But her weapons are, solid weapons. Can't go wrong. Your hitbox is small, so you can avoid a lot. I mean, your utility's there to help. So I'd put Ash A tier. I just don't really think her destruction utility is really nice. I'll put it like that. But I'm not a scummy slime that just plays Ash and Jaeger. So I'm not giving Ash enough respect to go to S tier. Okay. Bandit. Bandit's a very nice operator. But with the Thatcher rework, he's become harder to play because you can't bandit trick so easily to pick up your bandit wire and replace it if it gets disrupted. So now it's easier for a Thatcher to play and do a thermite combo. But he still has very nice, his MP5, or no, his MP7. It's a very nice weapon. So I'm willing to put, I'll put him A tier because he also has a nitro cell and he's 3-speed. Blitz is just garbage, to be honest. With the nerf of shield where the draw speed was reduced, and with the new shield rework, it's kind of goofy where you could take enough damage to where you start to shake. They should have kept it the same, but have teammates behind you stop taking damage from nitro cells, which they implemented. But you just feel so clunky when you play a shield. I mean, yes, if it's a Monty versus someone else in a 1v1 and the enemy doesn't have a nitro, it's an easy win for Monty. Just sits on the diffuser, waits till time starts to run out, kill the enemy while they're diffusing. It's an easy win. So we're going to put Blitz D tier just because his weapon isn't good. His flash utility is kind of strong, but sometimes it's not functional. Buck. With the loss of frags, kind of tough. And I'd rather run a sledge than the Buck. I'm going to be honest. His weapons aren't out of this world. They can't aim, you rather spray. It's not very useful. The iron sights on it are gross. Even if you don't use iron sights, they're just gross. I'm going to put Buck C tier. I'm going to be completely honest. I see Bucks die instantly because either they get too aggressive or they make really dumb holes there's utility and it gets them killed. Clash is a bit of a stinker because there's a very high skill ceiling for Clash and there's a very low skill floor. So either find a really good Clash or you'll find one where their positioning is really bad, where they get killed easily. But she has a lot of potential, and a lot of breach potential, or breach cancel potential. So I'm gonna put Clash B tier. Actually, I'll put Clash C tier, just because the skill floor is so low. I like Doc. He's a nice operator, especially in gold when your teammates, a lot of mine are roamers, they get shot a lot. So I'll need to heal them. EMP5, quite a nice weapon. I like to play Doc. It's a good time. You're providing team utility. You know, every bit of health can save your teammates in a gunfight unless they get a headshot, which is tough. But his utility is there to help the team. His weapons are pretty nice, so I'll keep him 8 tier. Valkyrie, with a recent buff where she can knock Echo off his drones, is very nice. And her weapon choices are also very nice. So I'm going to put Valkyrie B tier, because, I mean, the sound cues are really nice to have. But at the same time, I mean, not all of your teammates can hear the sound cue, because either they don't have their sound on, they're listening to music, they're not paying attention. So just a very easy team utility. But Valkyrie is a solid operator. I would recommend picking her. You can hack cams too if the enemy has a Valkyrie. Easy win. Alright, Ella, with her, this buff is kind of old. I think it came with a theme park rework. Is when her Scorpion, her first 14 rounds now don't have any recoil, or 16 rounds, something insane. But it makes Ella a very solid operator to play. And the Foe 12 is a fearmonger of weapons. So I'm going to put Ella A tier, just because of how useful she is, realistically. I'm not going to put her S tier, because ranged fights, she can have a bit of a stinker. And, I mean, sometimes you can get your teammates affected by your concussions, which is very upsetting in gold, because no calls are made, and sometimes the concussions are put in the floor or in, like, the weirdest shit. So then we have Finca. I think Finca's a very nice operator. If I were to say it's PC, I would say B, but I play console. I'm going to put Finca S tier. Now, this is very controversial, but when you're on console, aiming's a lot more difficult, alright? Because the recoil and recoil control on PC, it's so easy to learn. And on console, doing it with joysticks is very goofy. So if you get no recoil and you're running like an LMG, it's very easy. Or if you're running Glaz's AR-15 of a sniper rifle, you can just spam R2 and not have any recoil and just destroy, even though you never see Glaz played. But Finca still has her frags, and she still has solid utility to be a great operator. Since I usually play Finca on console, I'm going to put her S tier. Frost, she recently got a little bit of a buff. She had the ITA 12S, which is very nice. So what you can do is you can make a hole, you can put a frost mat on the other side of the hole, so the enemy team could be like, oh, I'm going to use their rotation. Boom, dead. Now, what's it? It's not the Foe 12. I know what the weapon is, but I can't think of it. I know the Super 90. Boom, big brain. Now, her primary weapon, her 9mm, not her 9mm, isn't it 9mm? Yeah, I think it is. But it can be very accurate, but its fire rate is kind of slow. Her utility can sometimes be very clutch in rounds. I mean, it can drop someone to very low health. I don't mind having a frost, but it's just a matter of finding the correct frost mat, making sure it's not baiting someone out and getting you killed. I'm going to put Frost C tier, but she has very much potential to be B tier. Fuse has a lot of destructive utility. I'm going to put him B tier. He got those an extra charge for his fuse charges, so he can eliminate an objective's full, cancel utility. He can destroy traps, he can destroy Jaeger ADSs, he can destroy Goyo shields, he can wipe everything out, he can kill people too. So, and he also has a very nice arsenal of weapons, even though if he was a 2-speed, I'd put him A tier. But he's kind of a clunky, slow guy. So, that's kind of his downfall, is his speed. Glaz is a total trash can right now. He used to be so fun to play. But what you see now is with his super fast fire rate sniper rifle, you get these ridiculous recoil patterns. And if you're on a Finca, sure, you can run them, but the fact that you get to standing still in Rainbow Six is very dangerous, just because of the amount of intel you can get. And if you're standing still for too long, you're pretty much dead. So to continue with this tier list, what do we have? We have Goyo. Goyo's a pretty fun operator to play. His Goyo shields, if you go in bank, put a shield in tunnel, they have to destroy it to climb over, because they can't climb over in a certain spot. If you put it there, it's pretty fun. He has the Vector, very nice weapon. He has the Sniper Shoddy, also a very nice weapon. But his utility can be very useful, but it can also be the death of your teammates. I'm going to put him A tier, just because he's a solid operator. He's fun to play. Alright, Yana. I've only seen very stinky Yana plays, because I see him go in, and the enemy sees their Yana clone right away, so they just hop out the window and kill Yana. Game over. But it does have a very nice arsenal, and I bet her utility has a very, very strong potential. I've just seen a lot of stinky Yana plays. So we're going to put Yana A tier. Put her B tier, because I just think she needs a little bit more to be considered S tier, A tier. We have IQ. IQ is a great operator to run if they're running an Echo all the time. Otherwise, if you can find the Echo or the Maestro turrets, you really don't need an IQ. If they run a Lesion a lot, it's great to run an IQ. But otherwise, she has a very strong weapon arsenal. She provides a very basic utility for your team. I'll put her A tier, just because she's there. She can, and it's just a very strong utility. Jaeger. Jaeger is an operator that recently experienced a small rework. Now it's just a cooldown on his ADSs to disable something, or to disable a grenade. Still a solid operator. Always great to bring one, just to cancel the nades. His weapons are there. His speed nerf really wasn't a nerf. I mean, it doesn't really change much. If you play COD and you're playing Rainbow for the first time, highly recommend picking a Jaeger up. He's free, but unless you buy there's a $5 version you can buy, where you get, I think it's 2 operators, and the rest you have to buy. That's a grind if you want to grind, but if you want to save money, go ahead. Kali's a bit of a stinker. I mean, yeah, if you're on border and you go by the buses on the east side of the map, and they are second floor objective, you can get a very clear line of sight into objective to stop rotations. That's what I always do. That's pretty much one of the only times I'll play Kali, unless I'm on Canal, then I'll play Kali. Or Clubhouse. If they are in cache and CCTV, you can go by the old dog cages, go to the second floor of that, and cover your people that are putting down any thermite charges or anything to support your team. I'd rather have a Kali than a Glass, just to destroy the abandoned wire with your utility. Then we have Capcan. He can be very strong. It's solid intel. You'll just get a sound cue, a big explosion, scream when a Capcan trap goes off. You just have to be very careful to put them in logical places or high traffic areas to get the true utility out of it. Because a Capcan trap that doesn't trigger anything, it's pretty much useless. A Capcan trap that gets destroyed by the enemy is more useful than a Capcan trap that doesn't get triggered. I'll put Capcan 8. Man, my A tier section's huge. Is there anyone that I think I should bring down? Not really. I think all these operators are great to bring. Great benefit to your team. And we have Lion. After his nerf, is kind of stinky. It's just pinging when someone runs, but I'll put Lion B tier because his weapons really aren't fantastic. The 417 is an excellent rifle, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing that makes the Lion outstanding. I mean, obviously you can lock operators in one place, but a Dokkaebi call lasts a little bit longer, and you can't really stop it unless you're running a mute, and not many people run mute. That's kind of a surprise. Don't know why. He's a fun operator, but I understand in Pro League. In Pro League, you don't see points, so you can't tell if you're disrupting something with a mute jammer, because there's no sound cue. Maestro is my most played operator, and just because I'm biased, I'm going to put him up there. If he had Acog, he would be S+, but sadly he does not. Rest in peace, Maestro Acog on the LMG. His shotgun actually had a recent rework, or not, it's actually pretty old rework. It's now Fire Slug, so it's viable in combat. So you can try picking that up. It might be your cup of tea over the LMG. His utility is very nice for destroying thermite charges, Habana pellets, ace charges, any hard breach utility. And if someone's planting, you can possibly down them or kill them, or you can light up a Monty to where he's easier to kill later on. Now we have Maverick. His elite skin came out, and that's just a terrible elite skin. It's just gross. Please don't do that again, Ubisoft. His utility is great though. He can avoid a bandit wire, mute jammer, and just get into the objective. Make a peek hole, kill anyone that's holding a hard angle. His weapon choices are great. Therefore, I'm going to be putting Maverick in an S tier. Melusi, she recently, or not recently, it's been a while since she's been nerfed. The range of her Banshee systems was reduced, so now her utility is still there. It's still great for giving callouts and for restricting movement speed. I'm going to put her A tier because she lost her T5 and got the MP5, which is kind of a nerf. But you know what? It's okay. It's still a solid weapon. But I don't think Melusi deserves to be S tier. She does have a nitro though, which is very nice. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Plus, we need less people in our A tier. Alright, Monty. Monty's another bit of a stinker, but I'd rather have a Monty than a Blitz because he can just sit on diffuser, guard it with his life, and have a better chance of survival than a Blitz. I mean, there's really not much to say about Monty besides the shield rework, which you should check the Ubisoft patch notes for those. It's a while ago, but it's still very important to understand how much that changed shields. Then we have Mute, since we're playing on console and not on a pro. Oh my. Alright, I accidentally clicked a side key on my mouse. That happens quite often. I have sausage fingers, and so I just backed out of the page, but we're back and it's saved, which I'm very thankful for. So, we're going to go back to Mute. Solid operator. It's just when someone puts a breach charge down and merely gets disrupted, it doesn't get destroyed. His MP5K is a great weapon to get used to if you're a new player. And he's a nice operator to bring because he can disrupt people's drones from going into the objective. So I'm going to put, I mean, he has nitro, but I'd rather have a bandit than a mute. But, you know what, mute's an OG operator. I used to main him. So I'm gonna just be generous and put mute A tier. Because this is not pro play. We see our points. Alright, Castle with his super shorty. That's very nice. It's very nice to run. So you can get rotation holes made. You're pretty much, I think you could see Castle as the king of utility. And if they don't have explosive utility and it's towards the end of a round, put up your castle barricades around the diffuser. Like, it takes them so much longer to destroy that, and they have to find another way in, and it just disrupts. It slows down the team, which it does its job every time. It makes them use utility. But his primary UMP can be a bit of a stinker sometimes, but I think Castle's a great operator. I can't wait. I want them to make his barricade go all the way down to the floor. Even though that blocks Mozzie drones, it still blocks attacker drones, which there are more of than a Mozzie drone. It also disrupts Echo drones from going around, but that's fine. Echo's going to get nerfed into the ground. I'm betting on it. So, what do we have? Nook or Knock, whatever you want to call. Not a team player, I'll be honest. If you're going to sneak in, kill a few, boom, you did your job. But I don't see Nook much more useful than Amaru. Amaru's weapons are better. But, I mean, Nook has frags, I believe. I hope they haven't changed that, otherwise she'd be D tier. She's really not a fantastic operator. There's just the creativity was very low, because it's just a copy of Vigil, just moved over and makes less sound. So, it's a fusion between Cav and Vigil on offense. Let's see, Oryx. If they're constantly running a Montang, if you run an Oryx, it'll scare the Montang away. You'll be fine. You'll probably win. His agility, being able to move around a lot, being able to change his directional movements. You can climb up, break through a wall, and you can just knock operators down. If you're out of ammo and someone sees you, you could probably charge at them, knock them down, whip out your secondary and kill them. I'm gonna put him B tier. I believe he's more useful than a Frost or a Clash as a defender. Pulse is a very nice operator. His utility is great, especially on bank. If you're in vault, you can pull out your cardiac sensor and see enemies approaching the door. And if they're approaching the door, you can toss some nitro, get a free kill, or stop a diffuser if they throw smoke down. Now, his weapons aren't really there. I mean, obviously it's the UMP. I'm going to put him on the same tier as Castle. I know not a lot of people are going to like this, but it's how it is. Capita, I think, is very underplayed. He has great weapon choices, and his utility is amazing. It's just, I don't think a lot of people really want to play Capita for some reason. I'm putting him in S tier. I'm sorry. He's just a great operator. I mean, you take out a whole zone of area when you choose your fireball. Your smoke dart, excellent. You can make an easy plant. And he's a 3-speed. You can't go wrong with that. So Cav is a bit of a stinker. I'll be honest. I mean, you see a lot of risky Cav plays, but a lot of them, come in clutch. The fact that if you win an interrogation, the enemy team either has to go super, super aggressive, or they have to run away from battle to not, be instantly dropped. But, I mean, you can see an interrogation pulled off every game, but you can also see a Cav get killed being too risky, and that's a loss of a teammate. So, I'm going to put Cav B tier. Her weapons aren't out of this world. Vigil has better weapons. I'd rather see Vigil on my team than a Cav. But, you know what? We'll give Cav B tier. Echo. I don't know if his drones got nerfed yet to where they're no longer invisible. They're just visible all the time, which is a big L. Like, the reason why Echo got banned a lot is just because he was an annoying operator to play against, and just to get him out of there, that just saves time. Alright, so we're gonna put Echo A tier, or I'm gonna put Echo A tier, because his MP5 suppressed, I don't know if they took out the suppressor on it or not, but a great weapon. He has the Bearing 9, also a functional weapon, and you just disrupt plants. If you're the last one alive, you can clutch around. It can be difficult, but you can clutch around by stopping a plant with your drones. Gridlock, I think, is an excellent operator. It's just clunky. So if you're going to run Gridlock, the weapons choices are fantastic. You can really run either one. Be fine, the LMG or the off-brand P90. But her utility is great for trying to block an area off. It's permanent unless they're destroyed, which either forces the enemy to use a nitro cell or an impact, which can be game-changing. Habana, with her rework, she can shoot 2, 4, and 6 pellets, so you can use your pellets more efficiently, more effectively. So I'll put Habana A tier. Her Type 89 primary, very small mag. It can definitely kill. It can easily shred through people. Her utility's there, but there's just this. I'm gonna be generous. My frame rate is dropping on this. This is whack. No, it's cool. I just found out about presentation mode, so I can get rid of the ads. That's very cool. All right, Jackal, grid operator to find the enemy roamers. His rework was a bit of a stinker, but his weapons are still great. He gets banned a lot, which is tough. The ban rate on Jackal is through the roof. It's just an annoying operator to deal with, so you might as well just get him out of the way. But when he is in play, it's game changing. It's very strong. His weapons are great. S tier easily. Kaid. I'm gonna put Kaid A tier because his AUG is a solid choice, but so is a Shoddy. And his utility just to disrupt the hatches is huge. It's fantastic. Alright. Let me have Lesion. Oh, with the recent nerf, it's actually an old nerf. When you could see your traps across the map, that was very nice. It was a great intel tool, and you could just figure out where anyone was. but now you can only see him when you're close by. I see Lesion as an excellent operator, so I'm going to put him A tier, just because his weapon choice also, and he has impacts. So, Mira. I'm putting Mira S tier. I think you could almost run Mira on any map. And her Vector has the, I think it has the one in the halftime scope. And she has a Nitro. So it's just, when an enemy sees a Mira shield, or a Mira window, they have to be more careful, because it can get dropped at any moment, and you can get dropped. There's a small time frame where you can get in cover or ready up your weapon on it. Now, let's see. Mozzie is a great operator for intel. His weapon choices are solid. You can't go wrong with running a Mozzie. I'm feeling generous. I'm putting Mozzie S tier. Ying can be a bit of a stinker, just because of how often you flash your teammates, and your teammates don't get like protection from your flashes. Maybe if it was like a 50% reduction of the flash effect, maybe that would be nice, so it's playable. But her weapons are solid. I'll put her B tier. It's just that there's risk and reward playing Ying. I'll see Rook. He's got, yeah, sure, the armor's nice. You get the bleed out extension. You can't die instantly from grenades. But, I could see that team utility be used for a better purpose on defense, especially. Yeah. Sledge is a very nice operator. You can't go wrong with Sledge. Just remember that. His L8's a fantastic weapon. His sledgehammer utility is great for making holes in ceilings or making a hole to walk through. And he also has frags, so you could really never go wrong with the Sledge. If you don't know what to pick Sledge or anyone really in this A tier section. Now we have Smoke. Smoke's a very nice operator. Blocks a doorway or a section of room for 30 seconds with his grenades if you use them all consecutively towards the end of if you use them all towards the end of the game. It can be very nice. It can also kill shields, slow them down, and his shotgun's a solid weapon. His FMG it's okay. It's nothing fantastic. So he's an A tier just because of his utility and his shotgun choice. Tachanka's rework is actually clutch. I'm putting him A tier. The fire grenades stop people just from going through a door. His LMG is a very nice weapon. He just totally changed as an operator. He kind of filled in the void of, if you're not going to play Smoke, you can play Tachanka now. If you're feeling a little bit more, long range combat, if you just want to mess around a little bit more, if you want to block different areas with your fire, it's just a way to play the game with Tachanka. It's just a new way to play. Thatcher, a great operator to play. If they have a hard wall, you can just throw down one of his EMPs, disrupt it, let yourself in the place. Sadly, it just doesn't destroy gadgets like it used to. It only disables cameras, it doesn't destroy them. So, but he still has access to the L8. I'm not sure if he has access to the SMG-11 or not. But he does have access to the AR-33, which can be occasionally nice to use. Thermite's I don't know why they gave him the graphic rework. They made him look like Luigi. So, we'll put... His weapon is a very nice weapon. His hard breach utility is very nice. It's pretty much the way to make the largest hole possible. And you get two of them. We'll put Thermite A tier, just because I'm feeling generous. Thermite's a great operator to run. I'd recommend running an Ace, though, first, just because it's so much easier to bandit trick a Thermite charge than it is an Ace charge. Because you could just consecutively throw two Ace charges at the same time, or simultaneously is the right word, and a bandit can only stop one of them. And you use your last charge on the one that didn't get destroyed. Twitch is a fantastic operator. If they run a bandit, you can just destroy bandit wires. There goes his utility. Excellent weapon choices. And just a functional operator where you can contribute to the team by keeping them safe from traps and utility. Let's see. The recoil pattern is kind of goofy. But just because the utility's there, I'm putting Twitch S tier. I'm gonna put her A tier. Because if your drone gets destroyed, then boom, there you go. You have nothing. Nothing to go off of. Let's see. Valkyrie is very... I think Valkyrie needs an adjustment. I think she's a little too OP. With 3 cameras, a nitro cell, a headshot machine, and a 2-speed, you can get around pretty fast and easily, you know, do 1v3, 1v4, 1v5. I'm going to put Valkyrie as an S tier operator. Never hurts to have intel, unless they have a Dokkaebi, then it could hurt, but otherwise, you should be fine. Vigil, A tier operator. 0 team utility, but his weapons are just so much better than Cavs. So I think he just deserves an A tier spot. Womai is a very nice operator. It's just sadly he doesn't destroy, but you can use an enemy's gadget against them if you use the Womai charge correctly. You can catch ace charges. It's not a bad pick. He has great weapon choices, MP5K, and he has the Acog, so you can't go wrong. Let's see. Warden's a goofy one. His utility can be used occasionally, but since Ying isn't played 24/7 and Glass isn't played 24/7, you know, the people that he was intended to counter, you know, Ying, Glass, Blitz, they're in the bottom of, you know, Rainbow Six players. So realistically, he was made to counter these, but they're not so often played. So I'm gonna put him B tier. All right. Let's do Zero or Sam Fisher. It's a very nice operator to run. Your utility's there to support the team. You have great weapon choices, but your utility is very, very obvious. It's just a big ass yellow dot, and a big ass triangle on a wall. I'll put him A tier just because of the utility and functionality for a team. Then we have Zofio. I'm gonna put Zofio S tier just because you can destroy so many gadgets. You have the concussion mine to give away an enemy position. You have great weapon choices and you can res yourself, so you can't really go wrong. So yeah, thank you for watching my Rainbow Six tier list video. The other tier list videos are actually doing pretty well, which I'm very happy about. If you have any requests or suggestions for the next week's tier list, go right ahead. I could do starter Pokemon. I could do that. Or I could do Rainbow Six maps. I could do Rainbow Six guns. I could do Overwatch maps. So yeah, just let me know